evening. It is Thursday, March 13, 2025. I'd like to welcome you to the meeting of the South Brunswick Board of Education and to call the meeting to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to read a statement of advance notice. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10-4-6, also known as the Sunshine Law, was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting the interest is discussed or acted upon. The primary purpose is for board members to discuss and vote on board business. In accordance with this provision of the Act, the board secretary has caused notice to this meeting 48 hours prior, including date, time, and location, to be posted in the South Brunswick Public Library and Board Office, filed with the Township Clerk, and communicated to the Home News and the Star Ledger. It is also posted on the district website. Roll call, Mr. Pulowski.
Ms. Julie Ferrara, Ms. Alicia Khan, Mr. Raja Krishna. Yes. Mr. Mike Mitchell.
Present.
Dr. Smitha Raj.
Here.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers.
Present.
Mr. Rajesh Soni. Mrs. Deepa Karthik.
Here.
Ms. Laura Hernandez.
Here.
We have quorum.
May I have a motion and a second to approve tonight's meeting agenda? Mr. Mitchell and Dr. Raj. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Now I need an approval of the February 13th, 2025 minutes. May I have a motion to approve the minutes of the February 13th, 2025 minutes? Oh, Raja?
Second.
And Deepa, second. Okay. So is she here? Okay. Next order of business is the report of the student representative, Ms. Samara.
Good evening, everyone. Our annual Mr. SBHS Boys Pageant takes place tomorrow on March 14th. Tickets are sold throughout this week for $10 at the activities office. Please purchase them before they are sold out. Our 9 contestants will compete to win the crown of Mr. SBHS. Tomorrow, we will welcome back our annual hosts, Dr. Negerval, Mr. Tulasewski, and Mr. Dentler for another successful year. You will also have the chance to win a free prom ticket by being placed into a raffle if you purchase a ticket for the show tomorrow. Student Council may be excited for spring break, but we are already planning for student government elections and Powder Puff. Packets for both events will be released in April. Our spring pep rally will take place on April 4th. The Viking Leadership Alliance has extended their food drive through the first
part. It's on the Anxious Generation, which is on Tuesday, March 18th at 6:30. On March 19th, we have a special education parent advisory group meeting. That's also at 6:30 at BHL. So I'm going to talk about a couple of things real quick. Obviously, we have a lot of high school kids here tonight, high school staff. We had some serious incidents in the last few weeks. We had some fights. We had staff having to get in the middle. Some staff got hurt. And it didn't seem to stop for a few weeks, which definitely upset the community, upset the staff, upset the students, upset the board. It was not a good look for South Brunswick. And what I want to say is the consequences for these things are going to be significant. You can't have violence in a high school. There's no place for it. So, we're currently working with students who are coming back after long-term suspensions. And I will say some of them are very, unhappy that they might miss prom, they might not graduate with the kids, they might not be able to go on any senior trips. But if you can't be trusted in the school, you're not going to be trusted in other events. It's just the way it goes. We do this because we want all of our students who come to school to focus on learning, the fun of being in school, the fun of being with their friends, not about whether or not they're going to be caught in the middle of a fight. There was kids who've gotten hurt as a result of other kids fighting. We just can't have it. So the kind of things that will happen, could lose privileges, you could be suspended. You could miss events. You have to go through mediation because it's not just about the consequences, it's also about learning from the mistakes. Like, mistakes are allowed. Trust me, you want to make the mistakes here. If you make the same mistakes out there, we've had assaults. If someone assaults somebody outside of a school after they're 18 years old, that's jail. That's not missing prom or getting suspended from school for a few days. It's jail. So we have to work on this. We heard from some students. I know that at the high school, they're doing some things at extended homerooms. There's something tomorrow as well. So the other one that I know one of the more horrible things we could do to students is take away your phones. But I'm going to be honest with you. If you use a phone, and it's not just kids in the audience, I'm not accusing anyone, definitely not in this audience. But I'm saying it out loud. If a student uses a phone and that phone causes or instigates violence, that phone's gone. You lose it. And you lose it for a minimum of a month. And what I mean by lose it, you don't get to have it at home. You bring it into school. And you'll drop it off with a security guard. We will keep that phone all day. Your parents will bring you to school and take you home, because you're not going on the bus with the phone either. Or you feel free to leave us with the phone for 30 days. It's just not okay. And I am hoping the kids in the audience tonight, you know this. You can shake your head and go, yes, we do. You know this. We can't have this. So just understand that, and anything you can do to help as students and staff, we appreciate that. But that's the way it's going to have to be. And that's the way it's going to be for a long time. We can't have this in the school. Okay, another part. So the last week or so, we had Facebook. Anyone ever go on Facebook? Parents? Kids? Kids, if you don't yet, don't start.
Yeah, really.
So there was a car accident that involved some of our students. There was an incident with a weapon that involved some of our students. And what's amazing is people that know absolutely nothing go on Facebook and act as if they know everything. I know you guys learn, I'm talking to the students right now, information literacy in your classes. When you read something on Facebook or any social media post, that does not make it true. You know this. Teach your parents. Because the adults on the South Brunswick community page do not seem to understand that when somebody posts something, that is true. It's kind of like a parent. I'll speak to the parents in the audience because I got a bunch of you here tonight. If your kid, if you have, parents, raise your hand if you have siblings, if you have at least 2 children. Okay. So let's just say that one child comes to you, this I'm sure has never happened, but one kid comes to you and says, Mom, the other one was pushing me. Is that it? Is the story over? Does the other kid get punished for pushing? Or do you want to find out both sides? Chances are, the first kid that told you that the other kid was pushing, push that kid first. But you're not going to hear that side of the story, because if I'm telling a story I want you to believe, I'm going to tell you the story that's only my side of the story. I could lie if I want. I could falsify. I could exaggerate. I could leave out pertinent information. That is Facebook. That is the world of Facebook. So when someone decided to say that the incident with the knife was directly linked to a few of the fights, that person knows nothing. Didn't stop them. They had to be expert on something they knew nothing about. What I can't understand, and maybe the people watching could help me understand, why do community members want to make their community look bad? I can't figure out how that helps the community. One day maybe I'll realize it, but I can't figure it out. Why do you want to say things that are not true, that you don't know if they're true, to excite other people in a negative way? I don't understand it. But yet, that's what we have. So we live with it. Just yesterday, one of our parents posted a link on Facebook and said that we have teachers that throw kids in closets. Dirty, dark closets, by the way. Now, if that was true, do you think maybe someone would know about that? If we were throwing kids in closets. Mr. Hines, where are you? There you are. Stop it, Mr. Hines. But I mean, are we able, only because his wife is here, I thought I could pick on him, she protect him. But are we able to say, wait a minute, I hear someone said that, let me process that, and let me apply some reasoning, some logic, maybe ask myself some questions before I just believe it and start to comment and add to it to hurt other people. Because guess what? The person blamed for that is a teacher. Never happened. Of course we don't throw kids in closets. But a teacher is now out there feeling really horrible that that's out there. But that person didn't care. But not only that person didn't care, the rest of the people who decided to comment on that and make it worse didn't care. That's what's got to stop. So we hope you, this generation, now back to the kids, you have to be the generation that doesn't continue that. Please use what you know about information. It's not true just because it's written. You know that about textbooks. It's perspective. But when someone posts on Facebook or any social media account and gives their version of a story, please remember there's another version of the story. Or the story is false altogether. You never know. Please. That's my request. It's my request to the whole community. Please just remember that. You can't just do, well, you can. I mean, you're allowed. It's not a crime. You can say these things on Facebook and any other social media site. Hopefully, I'm going to thank our teachers who are teaching information literacy, who are holding kids accountable to remembering that they have a responsibility to themselves to do the legwork to determine if what I'm seeing or reading really is what's right. Opinion, fact, and just falsehoods. The problem is we live in a world right now where there's a lot of that going around on all sides of the aisle. That's the way we are right now. But let's not contribute. With that said, congratulations for being here tonight. I will turn it over to much more funner things. Is funner a word? Funner? Funner?
We can make it one.
Mr. DeBarry, funner's not a word? No funner. Huh?
More fun next.
More fun
So
next.
much fun
So
next.
much more fun.
I
This
want,
is-
Turn it back over to you.
this is going to be awesome. I want to thank everybody for showing up tonight.
This is
For
awesome.
tonight's audit presentation.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's on the
No.
agenda.
that's what you got.
Second.
Yeah.
Let's change the order.
Okay, we're going to change the order.
Yeah.
He wants to change the order.
Change the order.
Wow.
Here's the reason.
Oh, you guys
Here's-
lose, you're
no, I'm gonna
losing
tell you why.
out.
I could have all of you watch an audit presentation, or I could care about all of you. I'm choosing to care.
I need a motion to change the agenda to switch the audit presentation with the National Merit Commended Student Scholarship presentation.
Motion.
Got a motion, got a second, all in favor?
You're welcome.
Sorry.
You are welcome. Okay, then back to me. So now it is funner stuff.
Funner.
I'm going to call up the principal of the high school, Mr. Peter Varela.
I want to thank Mr. Fetter for changing the order. I'm sure everyone appreciates that. So tonight, we're following up from the last board meeting on February 27th. It's our second opportunity to recognize students for their performance on the PSAT. So everyone knows being recognized by the National Merit Organization is truly one of the most prestigious honors for high school students every year. Now, to refresh our collective memories, I'd like to provide you with a little background. Every year, the National Merit Scholarship Corporation recognizes the 50,000 members of each graduating class with the highest PSAT scores as either semifinalists or commended students. We are fortunate to have 46 commended students to honor this year, and tonight we'll be recognizing all of them along with their teachers. In keeping with our practice, we invited our students to honor educators who have had an impact on their lives. Each student was asked to write a short personal note thanking a staff member. Tonight, each teacher will receive a framed letter. In addition, our board president, Ms. Laura Hernandez, will present all honorees with a certificate of accomplishment. Board President Hernandez, please join me at the podium. Before I begin, I would like to thank Mr. Norman Chow, a high school art teacher who used our district theme and provided us with a piece of artwork produced by 10th grader Ovi Televane. The commended students' letters have been framed with the artwork. It's really nice. Mr. Chow, thank you for sharing your students' creativity, and Ovi, thank you for your artwork and talent. I'd also like to thank Ms. Ramona Baker and Ms. Lourdes Amato Luis for their assistance tonight. And I'd also like to thank Samira for helping us as well.
Yes.
Would the first round please stand and form at the side? As we start our program, I thought I'd share some of the colleges and universities that our commended students apply to for admission, as well as some of the schools they've been accepted to so far. If you want. Ooh. Yep. All right, our first three honorees could not be with us tonight, but I'd like to recognize them. Our first recognee would have been Farhana Ashik. She's going to be majoring in computer science, and tonight she would be recognizing Krista Kelly, a member of the Brooks Crossing teaching staff. Our second student would have been Omar Askar. He would like to major in computer science and pre-med, recognizing Ramon Quinones, a member of the high school social studies department. And third student would be Tanish Punota. He wants to major in math, recognizing Dennis Duncan, a member of the SBHS and Crossroads North World Language Department. So we have Ashwika Benzel. Come on up. Bonzel. Oh, I'm sorry. She would like to major in finance, and tonight she's recognizing Ellie Nichols, a member of the high school math department. Come on up. You guys also get a certificate. You can go sit down.
Congratulations.
Yeah. Our next honoree tonight is Sonvi Chobal. She would like to major in industrial engineering, and tonight she's recognizing Rachel Levanitis, a member of the high school math department. You can sit down. Our next honoree is Rakshana Devala. She would like to major, stay here. She would like to major in computer science, and tonight she's recognizing Christopher Haver, a member of the high school math department. The next individual could not be with us tonight, but I'd like to recognize Shlok Ganguly. He would like to major in neuroscience, and he'd be recognizing Scott Lawrence, a member of the high school science department. Our next honoree is Shaunak Ghosh. He would like to major in pharmaceutical science and biochemistry, and tonight he's recognizing Mark Lalomia, a member of the high school music department.
Here you go. Thank you.
Our next honoree tonight is Chi Ray Su. She would like to major in political science, and unfortunately, tonight Dr. Justin Negraval could not make it, but he's a member of the high school social studies department. Our next honoree is Adia Jain. She would like to major in physics, recognizing Carlos De Leon, a member of the Crossroads North Language Arts Department. Our next honoree is Irino Joel. He would like to major in mechanical and aerospace engineering, and tonight he's recognizing Matt Miller, a member of the high school math department. Our next honoree is Pranavi Kaki. She would like to major in computer science, and tonight she's recognizing Matthew Becker, a member of the high school English department. Our next honoree is Siddharth Kandekar. I don't believe he could make it tonight. He would like to major in aeronautical engineering, and he would be recognizing Erica DeWitt, a member of the high school technology department. Our next honoree is Havish Kolovenu. He would like to major in business, and tonight he's recognizing Glenn Ferraris, a member of the Crossroads North Math Department. Our next honoree is Satvik Kumbam. He would like to major in engineering. He's recognizing Kyle Brancato, a member of the high school English department. Our next honoree is Russia Kundu. Looks like she couldn't make it tonight, but she will be majoring in engineering. She would like to major in chemistry and the classics, recognizing Peter Honig, a member of the high school English department. Our next honoree is Suha Melpeti. She would like to major in computer science, and tonight she's recognizing Dr. Roberto DeBarry, a member of the high school science department. Our next honoree is Milan Mendu. He would like to major in biology with a pre-med track, recognizing Andre Hala, a member of the high school English department, who cannot be with us tonight. We would be recognizing Ms. Ariane Dowd, a member of the high school world language department. All right, our next honoree is Sanvika Polasa. She will be majoring in neuroscience, and tonight she's recognizing Catherine O'Keefe, a member of the Crossroads North Social Studies Department.
Come on down.
Our next honoree is Aditya Prabhu. Guess he could not be with us tonight. He would like to major in mechanical engineering, and he will be recognizing Alexander Rosenwald, a member of the high school science department. Our next honoree is Kunal Purohit. He is going. Our next honoree is Mohammed Sadiq. He would like to major in computer science, and tonight he's recognizing Ryan Fisher, a member of the high school social studies department. Our next honoree is Garitha Sankrishi. He would like to major in business, and tonight he's recognizing Christopher Hines, a member of the high school social studies department. Our next honoree is Garv Sen. He would like to major in marketing and data analytics, recognizing Alexandria Robles, a member of the high school math department. In biotechnology, and he would be recognizing Crystal Burnett, a member of the high school science department. All right, our next honoree is Harshita Sudhakar. She would like to major in computer science, and tonight she would be recognizing Ms. Samantha Saldana Kuncharam, a member of the high school social studies department. Our next honoree would be, she couldn't be making with us, Anika Thakur. She will be majoring in computer science, and she would be recognizing Stephen Schiff, a member of the high school math department and computer science chairperson. Our next honoree is Karthik Thalam. He would like to major in biomedical engineering, and he would be recognizing Robert Masterton, a member of the Crossroads North Math Department. Our next honoree tonight is Matali Todi. She would like to major in astrophysics, and tonight she's recognizing Mr. Jeffrey Tulashevsky, a member of the high school science department. Our next honoree is Mira Toprani. She would like to major in mathematics, and tonight she will be recognizing, and she is recognizing, Mr. Gordon Barnes, a member of the high school math department. Our next honoree is Kevin Varghese. He would like to major in computer engineering, and tonight he's recognizing Shamila Shisti, a member of the high school science department. Our next honoree is Haripra Velor. Harpriya will be majoring in mechanical engineering, and tonight she's recognizing Bailey McLavish, a member of the high school special education department. Here you go. Our next honoree is Ganeshan Venu. He would like to major in computer science, and tonight he's recognizing Robert Saldino, a member of the Crossroads North Science Department. Our next honoree is Sriram Vupala. He would like to major in computer science, and tonight he's recognizing Mr. Stephen Trainer, a member of the high school math department. Our next honoree is Cadence Shu. She would like to major in aerospace engineering. Tonight she's recognizing Kenneth Sadowski, a member of the high school science department. And our final National Merit Commended student is Rob Yin. He would like to major in chemical engineering, and tonight he's recognizing Zachary Neiman, a member of the high school social studies department. To conclude my presentation, I would like to now share with you a few quotations directly from the letters that were written to our staff, though I wish I could share all of them. Students wrote, "You push me to think beyond numbers, providing me confidence that has helped me throughout high school. Your support and encouragement played a vital role in my academic journey. You challenged me to step out of my comfort zone and take on unfamiliar paths that, albeit extremely difficult at times, shaped me into the learner I am today. I want to thank you for being such a positive, energetic teacher. You always bring a smile and create an environment where it's easy to engage with the material. Your enthusiasm for teaching and commitment to your students is truly inspiring. You create an environment where learning feels exciting and meaningful, and you consistently go above and beyond to ensure we succeed. And finally, your guidance has shaped my education and my character. You have shown me how much a difference one teacher can make in a student's life. Faculty, our students are proud to call you their teachers and know that you make a difference each and every day. Another group that makes a difference is our parent group. I would like to honor our students' parents tonight for their hard work and support. I'd like to share a few slides and recognize them and ask all the parents in the audience to please stand.
Meeting that just makes the board love what we do. We just love it. And to have the students here who are the best of the best, and sitting right beside them, the teachers that help make them the best of the best, and the parents who really help make them be the best of the best, is amazing. And we just congratulate you. We are so proud of you. I just can't even express how I feel when I get to say congratulations to the kids, and and the teachers, and I know Mr. Varela as the principal, he's blessed. He gets to get up here all the time and do all this. So congratulations, we are proud of you all, and thank you, teachers, for what you do every single day. We're going to take a 5-minute recess because even though the audit is amazing, we're going to allow you, if you want to stay, you are very welcome to stay. If not, you are very welcome to leave. So we're going to take a 5-minute break. Now I just come back. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Mr. Pulowski. Yes?
To discuss our audit, and you have on your, in front of you, the manager's report and the actual audit. It's awesome reading material. If you, I have to say, if you do not want to take it home and put it on your nightstand and study it, or even do a small dissertation on it, I will take it back because we always find a home in our business office. So with that being said, Paul, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Dave.
Enjoy.
Truth be told, my wife was waiting in the car, and she didn't want to hear me speak about the audit either, so I'm sure they appreciate it as well. So good evening. My name is Paul Frieda. I'm an audit manager with Suppley, Clooney & Company. We completed your June 30th, 2024 audit in December. We've issued 2 reports that have been filed with the State Department of Education. As Dave said, you have the small report, which is the Auditor's Management Report. This report's required by the Department of Education, and it outlines the different areas of compliance that we test. These areas include payroll, the records of the board secretary and treasurer, purchasing, federal and state grant compliance, food service, and student activities. Had there been any audit recommendations as a result of our testing, they'd be included in this report. I'm happy to inform the board that there were no recommendations in the 2024 audit. The second report is your annual comprehensive financial report. It includes the district's financial statements and our opinion on those statements. You did receive an unmodified opinion, which means that your financial statements are presented fairly in accordance with GAAP. This is the gold standard of opinions that you want to receive. So you did receive that again this year. Of all the financial schedules in the report, your financial statements are presented in different formats. In the front of the report, there's something called the district-wide statements, which show all of your funds rolled up into one, including your fixed assets and long-term debt. Then there's a presentation of GAAP, which are the B schedules. But I always try to push everybody towards the C schedule in the back, the C1. It's on the budgetary basis, and it really mimics the budget that you adopt every year, and it acts as a profit and loss statement where it shows your budgeted revenues and expenditures versus the actual results. So it acts as a profit and loss. And this year, your fund balance did decrease. You finished the year with $15,956,000. A lot of that is already restricted or reserved, though. There was $5,285,000 of the 15 that was either reserved for capital, maintenance, emergency, or unemployment reserves. You used $6.9 million in your 24-25 budget to offset taxes, and that left you with a remainder of $3,351,000, which is below the 2% max that the state allows you to have. So you did not generate any excess surplus for the first time in a long time from the 2024 operations. Are there any questions? I'm sure you're dealing with that right now with your putting your budget together. I know last year you had excess surplus of about $3.5 million on top of your 2%. This year you basically just have your 2%, so I'm sure you're dealing with that right now. Are there any questions about either of the reports, what we do, fund balance?
Can you just repeat the surplus piece? I may have missed exactly what you said.
Oh, sure. So your total surplus is $15,956,000. But again, a lot of that's already restricted for a specific purpose.
Right.
All right, so approximately $5.3 million is used for various reserves, again, for capital, maintenance, or unemployment. And then there was almost $6.3 million that was used in last year's budget, or the budget that you're in right now.
That's where I'm lost, and I apologize. I see the 15.9. I see the 5.3. I'm looking at page 12. That 6.3 is where you got me lost on. I'm so sorry.
That's the fund balance we're using in the current budget.
In the current budget, 24-25?
So the situation, the statement that you're looking at is probably the GAAP basis. And again, I said there's 3 different formats of the schedules. So the GAAP basis doesn't include all of the state aid
Right.
that came in July. So, but the number the real number is the 15.9 million.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. That's what I wanted to
Yeah,
make
it
sure.
shows up on the one schedule as 14,501,000 on your balance sheet, the first schedule of the handout,
Which page is that?
which would be your B1 in the audit report.
Oh, right. I know which one it is. Okay.
Yeah,
I know
yeah.
which one.
That's just a different basis of
Yeah.
accounting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for that.
Absolutely. Does anybody else have any questions? No? Well, again, I'd like to thank Dave and the finance office for their help in putting all this together. I know, we come in, everybody has their daily duties to do, and we come in for 2 or 3 weeks or maybe a little bit longer.
Yeah.
And, and then we ask for other stuff on top of their daily duties. So I do appreciate the help that everybody provides to us.
Okay.
Thank you much,
Good.
Paul.
Thank
Appreciate
you so
it.
much. Thank you.
All right, thank
Do you
you.
have a lot of fun doing this? I have to
would-
ask that question.
I'm sorry?
Do you have lots of fun?
Well, I did notice that there weren't many accounting majors in that list.
Finance, there was a finance.
There was
There was a
finance.
finance?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, that may change, who knows?
But thank you so much.
All right, thank you. Have a good night.
You too.
And I would be remiss if I didn't mention Kim Ahern, Kelly LaRocca, Stephen Corso, and the business office. All of the people that work in our office work hand in hand with Paul,
Awesome.
providing all of the information that they need. And they're our juggernauts. They get things done.
That's great.
So hats
Well,
off to them.
Thank them for us.
Yep.
Please
Will
do. Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
so
Paul.
much.
All right, have a good night.
You too. Okay, next up. Are you ready?
Reg, you have the budget?
Yeah, you should, absolutely. Did you want us in the front row? Last time you wore it.
Just gonna wait for Reg to get that up on the screen. All right, folks. So this is a preliminary budget hearing, which means we are presenting to you a budget that means nothing. We did this last year too, because it's way too early with all the different things that need to still happen to produce an actual budget. The final budget is due, I believe it's the first week of May, and that budget will be sound. You'll have all the bells and whistles to it. We want to go over a few important features today and kind of tell you where we stand right now. So the first is state aid, our lovely state aid. This year, the state made a rule that you cannot lose more than 3% of your state aid. So they proceeded to run their formula again, which we're going to go through a little bit tonight. And we, of course, lost the full 3%. But the number that you have to keep in mind in the back of your heads is this. This year, they capped the loss at 3%. Now, just to remind you, 427 districts got money. 133 did not get money. 15 districts in Middlesex County lost money. Usually, it's only been 1, 2, or 3. And the reason being given to the districts that are now like shocked that they've lost money is because their value of their town went up, which is, well, so done with that excuse at this point. It doesn't really mean anything. Anyway, so we got capped at 3%. I'll show you what the loss was, but here's the number. It's not on the screen. 1.8 million. 1.8 million is the amount of money more we were supposed to lose based upon the formula. If they didn't cap the loss at 3%, we would have lost 2.2 million. Plus 645,000, or almost 2.85 million. So here's what it looks like. The first row is your local fair share. I've chosen not to educate tonight. You all know this by now. All of you have been on the board. You all know. Look at 24-25 to 25-26. So in the 23-24 to 24-25 school year, that's when we raised the tax based upon the bill. And we increased our local fare from 133 to 142. We were like pretty excited. Oh, I'm sorry. We increased our money to getting, I think it became 133. We were like, wow, 133 to 142, we're getting really close now. Then they reran the formula, and we're using a formula in the state of New Jersey that determined the local fair share to increase by 15% from 142 million to 160, almost 7 million in 1 year. Just think of the logic. How could we be using a formula that increases the number you cannot increase by 15%? So basically, there's no way to win. South Brunswick is in a hole, but the hole you're in is going to be If this doesn't change, and I know I've said this before, and we got to change last year, or we would be in a whole different world right now. And if we weren't losing enrollment, we would be in a whole different world right now. But there is no way to win. If they don't cap your loss next year and they apply the formula again at your base, which is 1.8 million less than the 13,847 up there, you start on July 1 minus 1.8 before the 2% cap hits effect. You'll be looking at a number somewhere in the $7 to $12 million short. That's real if nothing changes. Again, last year, something changed. At the last minute, something changed. I'm not expecting anything to change this year, to be honest. I'm just not. I have no more hope in the state's plan for schools. So we'll see. Anyway, the numbers that matter are the red. Our state aid was cut, as we told you, by 3%, which was $427,000. But also, last year, if you remember, we got 45% back of the 1.4 million cut, which was about $645,000. They're also not giving us that. So the $1,075,000 was in this current budget is no longer in next year's budget. So we start minus $1,075,000, and then we go from there. That's the reality. So the tax levy cap, we're going to do a little education here, and Dave put this together. So our current budget, overall operating budget, is $157 million. The tax levy, which is the only amount we're allowed to tax above, is $132,000. That's today. That's right now, this year, 24-25. So with a 2% cap increase, that means we're allowed to raise the taxes by $2.6 million. Okay? So let's look and see how the district spends its money. We spend 57% of our total budget, that's the operating budget, not the tax levy side, on salaries. We spend 18% on benefits, energy, transportation, tuition, supplies, buildings and grounds, and such, okay? There's other stuff, right, like other miscellaneous, but we just want to show you some of the bigger funds for right now. When you look at this number, now what you do is you take each of those numbers and you multiply them by the increase. So we look at 57% of 157 is 89 million. That is the cost of our staffing. It's our salaries. We have to multiply that by 3.5% for next year. That's 3.1 million. Remember, 2.6 million is your cap. So first category, we're already in the hole. Next category, benefits. The 11.5% increase that we have is below the national and the state average significantly. But that's still a ton of money. So even staying better than average doesn't matter. I'm going to show you a breakout of some of those numbers. Now we're at we're 6.4 million. We're already in the hole. Even if we go above the 2%, you're still in the hole. Because you're allowed to go, we're going to show you what a waiver looks like in benefit land. Energy costs, 11%. You all can look at your own energy at home and know 11% is low. The reason it's only 11% is because all of our energy is not electricity. If it was, that would be 17%, like everybody else in the state, or 20%, whatever it is. This is just the reality of every single school district in the state of New Jersey. Transportation, 5% is incredibly low, but it's still what it is. Supplies, 5% is reasonable, but like luckily we don't buy a ton of eggs. If we had to have a lot of egg supplies, it'd be worse. Buildings and grounds, which is facilities and all of that, up a minus 6% again, reasonable. Anyway, to roll over this budget, you need $8.2 million. That's not even including everything, but let's go with 8.2 for a minute. Now you're allowed to raise with a 2% cap. You're in a deficit of $5.5 million. However, the second line talks about benefits. The state has an automatic waiver that a district can take for benefits. It's not a number that Dave creates. It's a number the computer spits out when we put in the numbers. That number allows us to move to 3.5%, which would be still only put us at a minus 3.5 million as we go into next year. Now, minus 3.5 million sounds pretty bad, but last year we were looking at almost 7 million. So 3.5 million and enrollment reduction is why we're afloat. Or we'd be other districts that you can hear, look around the news, selling buildings. I'm not saying you're never going to be selling buildings, but today you don't have to. This is our reality, and I want to give you a chance at this point if you have any questions, before I go on. Does anyone need any explanations? So I'm not doing a 30-slide presentation tonight, just getting to the guts of it. Anybody have anything? All right. So the next, I want to just give you a quick overview of health insurance. Remember, I showed you a very large number. GLP-1s. Anyone know what GLP-1s are that is not in the Finance Committee? That is the drugs such as Ozempic. That doesn't say that we spend 1.1 million. This slide shows what it increased year over year.
It's just year-over increase on prescription?
1.1 million, not on prescription, just on GLP-1s.
What exactly is
Ozempic's, Wegovy, what's that one? No, Humira is different. It's the drugs that help with weight loss, help with diabetes.
Okay, that's not really for, probably for chronic conditions, not really.
Well, here's what we are not able to do.
But are
I
those
couldn't tell
covered
you
under
the medical side.
No, are they covered under insurance? Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's under insurance. Oh, yeah.
Okay.
So insurance in the country is somewhere between 20 and 30% increase. Insurance in the state health benefits plan is 29% increase. Insurance for just RX, which is pharmacy, in the shift, the largest shift in the state is 25% just for pharmacy. So the country's being hit with these new medications. So we have a $1.1 million increase. Anti-inflammatory, that's the Humiras. And I try to use the ones you can see on TV. You always see Humira on TV. That's the biggest one of the anti-inflammatory, our biggest expense. And that's over $500,000 increase, not total cost, increase. Then we look at our procedures. We get a breakdown of all the different types of procedures we have. The increase in the cost of the procedures, not how many procedures we have. Just if you look at someone who had, let's say, a neurological procedure last year, had the same neurological procedure the next year, it was about an 11% increase in the cost for the procedure. Not what South Brunswick does, just anyone who takes the procedure. The total cost for that was an increase of 1.8 million. Now, this is not the total. We do have some wins also. So our total was an increase of 3.2 million. But we're just showing you, it doesn't matter what's going on right now. The health insurance in the country and these pharmaceuticals are off the charts. And for districts that are not self-insured, what they're being hit with are 15 to 20 or above % increases on their premiums. We're at 11.5%, and no one is seeing an 11.5% increase on premiums. That's not happening anywhere. So we're still doing good, but good is not good. Good is bad. These numbers are crazy. So again, just health insurance is above the 2%. And every district I know, every colleague I speak to, and I speak to a lot of people about budget, they're already underwater just in their health benefit increases. Then when they add their salaries and their transportation departments, we have districts in this county alone that are $15 million in the hole right now. Same size districts. It's uncontrollable.
Yeah,
And a 2% cap, if that stays, will be the end of public education as we know it in New Jersey. It's just a matter of time. We survived last year, and we'll survive next year because of the bill that allowed you to raise taxes to the point. Fortunately, it did not hurt families, fortunately. It was a very low increase, but still, it doesn't end. And I remember I ended my last presentation last year by telling you, we're still going to be in problematic mode for this year, but we'd be manageable, and that's exactly where we are. The reason we know that is we do this. We can see the numbers ahead of time. Like, for example, we know that next year, I'm going to say it again because I want this ingrained in your minds, if we start at minus 1.8 million, what do you do at that point? Because insurance is still going to go up. All the other things are still going to go up. You don't stop at 1.8 million. Hopefully we'll get a change.
Just one question.
Yeah.
So for the first two categories, are generics also being
Yes.
considered? And this is including
And we
the
use a
generics?
company called Remedy that assesses our use of generics, and they save us about how much, Dave?
Close to about 800,000.
So because we assess all that, it saves us about another 800,000 a year, which is why we manage this in a way which would never happen if all you had was premiums.
Oh, okay.
So we do everything you can do to keep these costs down, but that's just those two categories
Yeah.
of a pharmacy.
Yeah, GLPs probably don't have generics yet, and they probably
I'm not
are
sure.
weakness.
Yeah. So this is our saving grace, is enrollment. But what do we know is happening right now in the town? We're building. So once this becomes an issue, plus all the other things an issue, it's going to be a problem. So as you know, before I get into this, you know what we're doing about that problem. We're studying the problem now, this year, with a full committee to see what do we do with redistricting, reconfigurations, what do we do with the realities of what's coming our way financially and with enrollment. So we're not going to wait for it to hit us, we're going to be prepared as best we can be. That's the best we can do for the community, is be prepared. So, our enrollment in South Brunswick is excellent. Not good, it's excellent. Class size of K2 of in the 19s is excellent. 3.5 being at 21 is excellent. 6.8 is insanely excellent at under 20 kids average in a middle school class. 9-12 is wide-ranging, it's all over, but it's excellent. We cannot continue this. This is what has to change. Doesn't have to get crazy, but we have to move from excellent to good, not from good to bad. We're not at bad yet. Excellent to good. So what we're going to be doing over the next month and a half is applying the actual enrollment in every single school and every single grade to determine what can we do to manage the funds. But we talked at meeting last night about a reality. We have to manage the enrollment. Sometimes that comes with things that people don't like to hear: redistricting, reconfiguration, moving a kid from their home school to another school. There are things that have to be done in order to manage this kind of fund problem. The good news is we are focusing on not losing a program. We are focusing on next year's school year to not include things like you're hearing in other districts, like losing music programs, losing sports, losing opportunities for kids, cutting AP classes. We're not looking at doing that for next year. This is, again, because of the work you did last year. Otherwise, we wouldn't be having that kind of conversation. You would have already lost those things, and you would just be losing more now. So the reason I'm not blowing the whistle is we're going to be okay for one more year. Not good, don't get me wrong. We'll be okay because of our enrollment and because we've done a lot of things to manage this over the years. We're going to be adequate. Does that mean job losses? We're hoping we don't see anybody who's on staff lose a job. We have attrition through resignation and retirements. And then we do have positions that have to be cut because enrollment they're not needed. Not because we don't want them, but we can't keep them. We can't have class sizes that in the middle school, in some cases next year, would be 16s. Can't have 16s. We can, it's great, but can't do that. Not if we have to cut programs instead. So our challenge is, how do we do this without cutting programs? You don't want to cut things that kids have opportunities for. A little higher class size that stays within range of reason is still a better option. That's my recommendation to the board, not to cut programs unless we absolutely can't get through this. But we believe we're going to. That's what we believe. Before I move on, are there any questions?
Scott, you say that enrollment is going to go up as well next year?
What we know is we have the building. We know that at some point, those buildings become alive. Next year, we expect during the 25-26 school year, we expect about 800 homes to be finished and occupied. Those 800 homes will start producing students. In the first year, they won't produce zillions of students, but it will start next year, and then the years after that will get exponentially quicker and more, because you'll have 800 next year. The year after that, you might have 1,600. But then the original homes that right now are producing only, I think, under 40 kids, I think 40 kids. The 200 homes behind 4 Executive Drive are producing 40 students. Those 200 homes every year will produce more students. That's the way people buy houses. They don't buy them with full age, always with full school age. But every year, more come, less leave. So we expect those 200 homes to produce 90 students themselves, just those 200 that are built already. So that's going to triple just those. Then you have the 600 new ones that'll come during the course of next year. Those will produce, K-12 students. And then every year, they all produce more. And then more homes are built. And it takes 5 years after full build to get what's called the full yield. But at full yield, the 3,400 homes that we have that are currently slated, depending on how long it takes to build them, 5 years after they're all finished, you're looking at about 2,300 students.
So, you said that now it is an excellent situation and we had to get to good.
Yes.
So in the grade level from 6 to 8 and 9 to 12, what number are you identifying as good?
So we're playing with that. Generally speaking, in a middle school class, having 25 kids in the class is normal.
Okay.
Outside of the South Brunswick universe, 25 kids in a middle school class is extremely normal. When I taught here, I taught 5th and 6th grade. I never had less than 28 kids. Not one year I taught here. Not that I want 28. Can't say I loved having 28, but that's what I had. The reality is at that time in South Brunswick, it was growing, and you couldn't keep up. When they built Indian Fields, after 1 year of building Indian Fields, it was overcrowded because the building was going so fast. At some point, if the building hits that kind of pace, which right now it's not, if it does, it'll happen faster. There's no way to know that yet, but it is going slow.
So the final part of the question, so if that moves in that direction, is it going to impact the instruction for the kids?
So if you think about it, if you have 20 in a class or 25, will it impact instruction? Of course. More impacts instruction. The question we have to ask is, will it impact instruction to a point that is problematic? Because that would be cutting programs through increased class size. So you're looking for the happy medium. You're looking to see what the standards say. You're looking to be reasonable. We're not looking, there are class sizes in the state right now that people have 30 in elementary schools. We're not looking like we're not even having anywhere near those kind of discussions. Not even in middle or high school. But at some point, you might be having those conversations. We're going to try and keep that out of this year's conversation. Okay. And just be from excellent, which is 19, to good, which in my opinion, I don't think everyone will agree with me, 23 to 25 is good for a middle school. I don't have any trouble with those numbers. If I can keep them lower, I would, and we have been doing it because we could. We can't anymore. This is just the reality of it.
Thank you.
Scott, my question was more about the high school, because I know middle school and elementary we may have, as far as infrastructure is concerned, we have some options and we can play around with it. But high school, given the intake or the new, population that's going to come into the town, the question I have is, at what point will you, how will you make that assessment, whether the present infrastructure will support incoming students? Because you will know that at the time of registration, and we're already, if anecdotally what I'm hearing is that we already are at like capacity in that sense for the high school.
So we're not. The high school has about 400 seats available. It'll be crowded at 400 seats, but you have about 400 seats.
Okay, we have 400 seats.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe 350, to be a little nicer.
Okay.
But you're looking at average class size at the high school of 650 a class, which is 2,600, and you can put 3,000 in the high school.
Okay.
So you're okay with seats in the whole K-12. Next year, South is only going to have about 780 kids, 790. When I got here, they had 1,100. And then North has a little bit of space. So you have space all over the place. But the space its class size goes up a little bit. And no one wants that. And I don't want to be heard saying that I'm excited about 25 in a class or 23 in a class. I'm not. But it's a question of class size, reasonable class size by any education standard or programs. That's the choices we're going to give you. We're going to show you all that as we go over the next month and a half. You'll be given the options and looking and see how to get to the numbers. And really it is going to come down to class size, some other areas, as well as programs. So to Raja's question of, is 25 too much? Well, is 25 too much if it maintains all of our extracurriculars, all of our music programs, all of our supports, all of our programs for high-level learners, all of our programs for our support students? Then is 25 too high? Or, do we stay at 23 and say that the middle school no longer has a morning music program, right? Those become the conversations. We believe as long as we can keep class size reasonable, on a reasonable average, that's a better move for the district than to start taking away opportunities for kids. And that's what you'll decide. And we'll show you all this as we go. We're playing with all this and looking at options, but the board will have all this. It'll be in public. You'll be able to see all these things.
So I'm just curious to know, is there like a mechanism between the district and the township to sort of make an assessment? Can we really, allow for this extra housing or this, that is bringing this influx into do we have the capacity? Is there a conversation between us and the...
There is zero control of the district over what gets built in the township. Nothing. We have no say.
So we have no ability to sort of, raise our hands or raise a flag and say, like, we are at that point where we may not be able to service all of the students that are coming in.
No, the state of New Jersey separates completely the municipality and the school district in all facets. That's why our budgets are completely different. Our leadership is completely different. The decisions for who builds, how many they build, is the town. But I will tell you, I'll give the town credit. The town has been fighting this building since before I got here. It's not the township of South Brunswick that is making this happen. It is the state law and the state mandates. They've been fighting legal battles. I can't imagine how many millions of dollars they've spent to avoid this issue for this reason. And I think they're still fighting, which is why it's slow. So we're not seeing a massive influx. Right now there's 3,400 on the docket, but they're not being built because the township is trying their best. So this is an area for the township has been the most helpful they can be.
Okay, thank you.
That was going on when Mr. Feder first started, and there were several families from the Shocks Crossing, 55 and older, that corner. We were trying to testify against it. We brought petitions. They've been fighting it for
I remember.
How long have you been here now?
This is 8. But when I
8 years we've been
when I got here, the township explained to us that in the next 5 years, this was 7 years ago, in the next 5 years, expect 3,000 to 5,000 homes to be built. It is now 8 years later, and we're looking at about 200 so far. So you got to give the town its credit for doing the best they can with this. And I want to say that publicly because they have been. Thank goodness, because otherwise we'd already be underwater with that. We would have to then think about what's called a referendum, going to the community to see if you want to build anymore, because you would have to. But right now, we do not need to build today. If we were to propose a building, it would be about housing preschool students in a way. That would be what we'd be proposing, not proposing building a school, because we can handle the enrollment for a bunch of years still. The problem isn't the space, it's the staffing costs.
Right.
When you get more enrollment, we have to hire more staff. And if you're underwater and you have to hire more staff, that just becomes that much more challenging. So this is what we're trying to guard against with all of these decisions.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So just really the taxes part of this, and then we'll wrap it up. The healthcare waiver. We're going to propose that you do take the healthcare waiver. If you don't take it, it goes into your bank, but you should take it, because otherwise we're cutting $2 more million of stuff. And then you are going to get into programs when we don't think you have to right now. The tax levy increase would be 3.5% or $4.6 million. What does that cost? We want to show you the difference. If you only take the 2%, it would cost $12 a month. This is an estimation. We only see that number going down once we get the ratables in. So we don't have the ratables yet. Dave used a static number from last year. But since our local fair share went up 15%, I'm expecting those ratables to bang. And if they do, that 1210 could become anything lower than 1210. So it's 1210 a month, or 144 for the year. If we did 2%, if you went to 3.5%, the full, it's another a little over $4.25 a month to get, all the funding that we are allowed to get legally without going to second questions. Now, we could always go to second questions again, and you'd have to pick what, you think you'd want to do that. Right now, Dave and I haven't proposed that as a consideration at this time. But it is something to consider. We have districts that are going to special elections, not elections, special votes to just raise the levy above the legal amount. So that's happening. The other option we'll have at some point, which you might really want to consider, is moving your vote to April, so that you then have more flexibility in what you spend, but it allows the town to say if they want to spend it or not. So those are options that we can talk about. We do worry of what's going to happen when the enrollment stops dropping. If the formula continues to do what it's doing, and you continue getting hit with these horrible cuts, it's going to eventually be, we've kept it out of being a problem, but last year we were out of tricks last year. Then we pulled the rabbit out. There's no more rabbits. I mean, we didn't think that rabbit existed, but we found that one. So maybe there'll be another one, but I'm not seeing any sight of it right now. I know we still have senators and assemblymen trying, but there was a bill that gave flexibility. That bill was chopped up to pieces and is worthless, actually worthless. Anything they tried to do except for cap the loss has been worthless for us. Again, just remember, they raised what they said the town should be paying in 1 year by 15%. How could the town pay 15% more in a year? Absolutely insane. As we keep going, we have preschool. We are putting in for 6 more classes for next year. Those classes, this is good for us. This is financially good for us. Those 6 classes will be out of district. They are currently scheduled for, Suzanne, if I get this wrong, please tell me, Sapling, 3 classes, and the Learning Experience, 3 classes. The Learning Experience is right on Route 1, right when you turn onto Black Horse Lane. Sapling, Suzanne?
Route 27.
27? In like the area by Brunswick Acres and Greenbrook? That area?
By Tasty Sub, yeah.
By what? By Tasty Sub?
Yeah.
Okay. That's good. At least you get to go to Tasty Sub. That's not a bad thing. So preschool is increasing again. We'll be at about 450 preschoolers next year. That's a big positive. Total. State aid cuts, as I shared, $1,065,000. This is an issue, the fund balance. So in your audit report, you have a $3.3 million fund balance, Dave? Unassigned money. We need 6.6.
If you run it to 0, 6.6. We're looking to put 6.6 in from this year.
So we're looking to put in 6.6 from this year. That's very tight. But this is the way we've been surviving. Very tight. We'll get there, but it's very tight. you don't want to be running an organization this tight, which is why this year we are going to do some things to try and even out the score a little bit, but it's only going to help for a short period of time. Just there's no solution that's long-term for us. There is a solution. You can close a building. You can sell a building. Just wait till the enrollment starts to come back and you have to buy the building back or reopen a building with no funding. Not good decisions, but they're decisions we have to look at. All the decisions are on the table for the next few years, not for this year. Miscellaneous revenue increase. We got a few things, just so you're all aware. The township will be paying us $70,000 a year for the use of our school buildings for recreation. We talked about this. We went to a vote. The town voted down the question, so we had to then provide a fee to the township. They have been informed of the fee, and beginning July 1, they owe us $70,000 for recreation. But remember, we owe them $365,000 for the police. So it's a $70,000 increase to our miscellaneous revenue. We do indirect costing. For example, the preschool. Do I have preschool responsibility? What do you think? Does the superintendent have preschool responsibility? Absolutely. It's like anything else in the district. So part of my salary can be paid out of the preschool grant, which takes it out of Fund 11, which helps. David, Kelly, Megan, and Suzanne do that. And we are able to cost out all of the people that are responsible for preschool, down to buildings and grounds. Remember, Dayton and Deans would not be open right now without preschool, right? They would be able to fit in our schools. The PSD program, we would be able to do that. So the entire cost of those buildings is being paid for by the preschool grant. That makes it advantageous for the district. If you remember when we first bought the preschool, we had the people who were saying, how dare they, how dare they? Thank goodness we do this. It takes a fortune out of our operating budget covered by our preschool budget. And more importantly, 450 kids next year are getting free preschool, free full day. Imagine what it does for our families who live in South Brunswick. That's a blessing for them. Huge. So next year, we are looking at a very, very tight funding for capital improvements. We have roofs that need to be done. We have other things that need to be done. Operations meetings next week or the week after. We're going to be talking to the operations committee, and they'll be bringing it back to the board about what we think we can handle. There's not a lot of money left in those accounts. And you know, just from owning a house, if you have a leak in the roof, eventually the leak gets bigger, and at some point it starts to cause damage, and you have to make a decision to patch the roof or replace the roof. We've been patching and patching and patching. We have to try to see if we can do any replacements on some of our roof problems. The tentative budget, remember, you're being asked to approve is not the budget. We can change every single thing in that budget between now and May, and we will be changing a ton. David does whatever he does behind the screens. I don't know, I don't ask him. He makes it so it says what it says needs to say, but we're not fooling anybody. We did this last year too. We're not pretending. Right now, we are not prepared to be done with the budget yet. We need more time, and we're taking more time. That's what we're asking you to approve tonight. Last of our piece of information here is federal funding. We are currently moving forward with the existing federal funding that we have. I cannot tell you with any level of certainty if we will have all the funding, more funding, or less funding. Absolutely no way to know. We're hearing all kinds of things, but until there's any reality to them, I'm not going to start doing exactly what I said before the show started, doing what other people do on Facebook. I'm not doing it. I do not know the answer. I'm not going to pretend I know the answer. We're going forward. By May, maybe we'll know some more about federal funding, but as of right now, we're just going forward with what we have. I will say, if we lose any significant amounts of federal funding, which includes payments left for this year by the federal government, as well as our funding for next year in title grants and IDEA, then all bets are off with what that would mean. I'd have to see how much is hit and then what goes at that point. That might not happen until the summer. which is unfortunate because we'll have already struck the budget by then. But that's where we are. And that is all we have for you tonight, except for there's one more slide. Reggie, can you flick it so there's one more slide? No? Huh. It's the overall slide that just, the numbers have already been in there, but it was a final slide that just shows you're going to be, today you're approving, if you do approve, a $161 million budget, which is up. We're asking you to approve the 3.5%. That includes the waiver. If you'd like to discuss that tonight, you can discuss that tonight, or you can still wait and discuss it at the end when you know all the things that are on the table. You can still make those decisions all the way up until May. Okay? Did I miss anything?
You got it.
Any final questions?
No stabilization aid.
Stabilization aid this year is 0. Yeah, or minus 645,000. That's of today, remember, though. This is of today. Like I said, going too crazy today, we got money, it's very difficult. They're putting us in a very tough position. But we're going to do the best we can for the community and the kids. You have a question?
Never mind. Thank you.
All right, folks. Thank you.
Oh, good, thank you. Okay, so let the fun begin with that, huh? And here we go. And here it goes. Okay, well, on a little lighter note, let's go to our board committees. First up, policy. Ms. Khan, anything for us?
No updates at this time. We have not met.
Finance, Ms. Rogers.
Yep, thank you, Madam Chair. So the two committee members of the three, myself and Ms. Khan, were present at the Finance Committee, which was held this past Tuesday. Also present were Ms. Malloy-White, Dr. Mammon, Mr. Fetter, Mr. Pawlowski, and Ms. Hernandez. And basically all I have to say is ditto. We went through exactly what Mr. Fetter went through, so the committee had an opportunity to ask pretty detailed questions, which is why you really didn't hear anything from us. But it was a very good discussion. It was a hearty discussion, and there we have it. Thank you.
I'm sure you're going to be speaking a lot in the next couple months on this. Mr. Krishna, operations?
We're going to have an operations meeting in next week or 2 weeks.
Okay,
I don't have any updates at this time.
okay, thank you. Dr. Raj, education?
Education committee met on March 4th virtually. And present were Ms. Karthik, Ms. Ferreira, Mrs. Hernandez, Mr. Morales, Mrs. Susan Lackburn, Dr. Mammon, and we discussed quite a bunch of topics. And something exciting to report is that we will be having 2 new career academies going forward at the high school. One will be a teacher's academy and another will be trade. We've been discussing that for quite a while, so that has come to fruition now, and I'm excited to report that. And there is also Mr. Morales was in attendance, and he shared with us information about the special education parent advisory group. Moving forward, we are looking to have an appointed BOE liaison attend these meetings. There was also a conversation on teaching national anthem in elementary schools. For now, because it is not required to be taught as per the standards, it's off the table. But the choir and a bunch of select group of kids do learn patriotic songs. And the other topic we discussed was the other topic that was discussed was option 2 law change to align better with the NJ law. And detailed minutes will be uploaded very soon to the portal. And this is my report.
Great. Did we hear back from Dr. Mammon about the standards?
On the minutes.
So I do have a question for Dr. Mammon. Sorry. So we did talk about the national anthem being part of the elementary curriculum, and you were going to check to see if we could do it. We kind of knew it wasn't mandated, otherwise we'd be doing it already. So I thought we were checking to see if we could do it.
Yeah.
That's correct, right?
That is correct.
Okay, so it wasn't that, so we haven't answered that yet, am I correct?
No, not exactly.
Okay. Next meeting?
Next meeting.
Okay, good. Just wanted to make sure I understood. Thank you so much. Okay.
I did it wrong then.
Okay, any liaison reports? Anybody have anything on liaison
I-
report? Oh, Ms. Deep.
On February 28th, the high school had a Temptation musical show, cultural and musical show. It was wonderful. It was lively and colorful and full of art and creativity, and I was very happy to attend it. It was from 6:30 in the evening to I think 9 or so, and I don't know how I lost track of the number of performances that were there, but I had a wonderful opportunity to see our kids performing, and they had a lot of fun. And I must commend the advisors as well as all of the teachers and the custodians who were there to run it smoothly, and there was a lot of presence in terms of order and arrangement, and there was security. So I really commend all of the adults who were there helping the kids with their I think it's called the Temptation Cultural Club or something like that, but the name really just escapes me right now, but I had a wonderful time attending that event. I wish more of us could go, but I know Mike was supposed to attend, but last minute he was unable to. So next year I hope more of us will attend that
Sounds
event.
like fun. Sounds like fun. Okay, no more liaison. Anybody else? Okay. Old business? None at this time. New business? None at this time. Okay, now we're at the public comments, and this is for any topic since we kind of combined two into one. And before I see if anybody'd like to speak, I just need to read. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. Complete copies of Policy 0167, which govern this portion of the meeting, are available to the public at the auditorium entrance, online, or by contacting the board office. To permit the fair and orderly expression of comments, we ask that the participants be recognized by the presiding officer and preface comments by announcing his or her name, place of residence, and group affiliation if appropriate, and by completing the sign-in sheet that's at the podium. Please print legibly, or we may not be able to document your name for the permanent records. Each statement made by the participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic. Mr. Pulowski will indicate when you have 15 seconds remaining. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members. No discussion between a participant and respondent shall extend a 3-minute time limit. It is our plan to listen to each member of the public. Once all questions and comments from all members of the public are made, the Board of Education may respond or respond via email in the most timely and efficient manner available. All questions and comments made will be noted. Mr. Pulowski, do we have anybody pre-registered?
We do not have any pre-registrations.
Okay. Are there any audience members who wish to make a public comment on anything? Come on down. So this is a reminder that I'm going to start every meeting when we have public comments. We so welcome differences of opinions. We do not welcome disrespect. Yeah, there you go.
Thank you, everyone. I got to be honest with you, this is the first time
Please
I've ever
state your
done.
name.
Oh, I'm sorry. Chris Hoffman. I live in Kendall Park. I have a daughter in high school and a son in Crossroads North. I got to be honest with you, I thought this would be a lot more people here. I'm joined with a few members of the South Brunswick High School who came here we kind of came here to see what it was doing with what Superintendent Federer had mentioned earlier, with all the outbreak of fights and things like that. And first of all, let me just say, what you guys doing here is crazy. Like, I never thought, sitting through this, I never thought this is what you guys had to do. My head's spinning. I'm like, I just thought you were a bunch of rich people sitting around talking about, like, who can we, you know, where are we going to put this kid and whatever. I'm just in awe of what you do. I just want to say that. Superintendent Federer, I look forward to your messages when schools are closed. Big fan, big fan. I just want to say that. So I have a total amount of respect. I used to be in the education field. I was a teacher for a few years. I couldn't do it. So again, I'm in awe of you guys. So I know we're doing what we can do, and this is all kind of taken a lot out of us. I know a lot of students are really worried. A lot of parents are really worried. Some wanted to be here tonight. They couldn't. And again, I thought there would be more here. However, I'm sorry, I'm babbling. I babble when I'm nervous.
Okay.
But just wondering what we're doing to prevent. I understand you have things in place of punishing people, and that's great. But what can we do to kind of prevent? And with the influx of new students coming in the building, and I know probably by the time all these students get in, my kids are going to be out. But I mean, it's just you're putting more people in a tight place. It's probably not going to get any better. So I'm just wondering, you know, is there anything specific that's being done to curtail all this violence?
You can, it's all yours.
So tomorrow your daughter will be involved in an activity in the morning. There was a meeting last week with all the students. Now, again, it's because it's so big, you can't have them all in a room. So
Sure.
it's happening, but we extend the homeroom time by 25 minutes. And that time is being spent dealing with this exact issue about the preventive side, where the kids are doing an activity tomorrow that's being done through third block. And last week it was done on, I forget what day of the week it was, but you can ask her about it and she'll be able to tell you what they did. They read, every class read a letter about the importance of, you know, taking care of the school and then how the kids were feeling. They got to share that. Staff has been sharing that. So all of this is being done as a way to prevent. We've had a very good week. We're back where we need to be. But we did have an obvious hiccup, no way to describe it otherwise.
Sure.
And everybody wants it to be how it's always been. So a lot of people are putting the efforts in to make sure that happens. But it's the conversations, it's the openness of being honest with each other. It's giving students a chance to talk, giving staff a chance to share and talk. And that's what we've been doing for the last couple of weeks. And it's been effective. And unfortunately, the other side has to happen also. That is a deterrent for preventative as well.
Sure.
You know, it's not a consequence isn't only about the student who's getting consequented. And when I was talking to a group of students the other day, I talked about driving through Cranberry. Do you ever drive through Cranberry?
All the time.
What do you do what speed are you using when you drive through Cranberry?
25 miles an hour.
Why is that?
Because I live off a new road and I see the knuckleheads that drive down New Road. And you can ask my kids the profanity that comes out of my mouth to the people who are doing 60 in a 25. So I make sure that in a 25, I do 25. If it's 35, I'll do 50 or 60. But in a 25, I know there's kids around.
So all of Cranberry is 25, basically.
Right.
And the other thing that happens if you go 35 in Cranberry is you're going to get a ticket.
Oh, yeah.
And you're going to get a ticket. And it's the reality. It's a consequence associated with the behavior. So when consequences are consistent and fair and reasonable and appropriate, they work as a deterrent. I put my cruise control at like 20, 28, 29. I feel 4 miles might get me okay. But I will not go 35 miles an hour in Cranberry. And I set my cruise control to avoid it because I expect if I do, there will be a consequence I don't like. So while consequences are not the only way we act, it's about remediation, it's about supports, it's about being all the things I've said before. And we believe that is the pathway to get us back to normal, which this week has been. And we hope to see it going for the rest of the year and beyond.
Right.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. You guys are doing a bang-up job. I appreciate you.
Before you leave the podium, could you just sign your name? Is there?
There's nothing here.
We got it.
We got it? Okay. Okay.
Chris Hoffman, 2 Fs, 2 Ns, Burnham Court.
Thank you.
Go Birds.
Thank you. Anybody else in the audience? No one? Okay.
No.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, honey.
Hi, I'm Om Bhaskar. I'm a sophomore at the high school, and the first question I have is about like the health insurance issues. And one of the things that Mr. Feder talked about was the prices of like Ozempic, and with the new administration and their ideas of like putting tariffs on several countries, Ozempic being a foreign product, would those tariffs hurt our district significantly?
I don't, I'd be glad to talk with you more about that if you want to give me a call. I'm not sure of the answer, but I can look to see if that is on any of the list. I honestly hope not.
Okay.
And don't give anybody any ideas, Om.
Yeah. And my second question is, you talked about how the budget would be finished before like summer, right? And like specifically talking about federal funding. If federal funding is cut during summer, would the state or like the state government, would they just, is it really realistic to say that they would just leave us hanging, or will they like try to get something or scramble to get something done in those months between summer and the beginning of the school year?
If you don't, can I answer, Madam
Please
President?
do.
So I was asked to speak on this exact question to the Joint Committee on Public Schools, which is senators in assembly who sit on a committee together to address issues of school funding and schools in general. And this was a question. My testimony to them was, if federal funding is cut, the state of New Jersey is going to have a choice to make. The one that you said, which is either leave us hanging or fund. They're going to have to make a choice. I explained to them that if they make the choice to leave us hanging, they're going to have to decide what schools are not going to have to do anymore, because we won't be able to afford to do all the things that funding currently covers. So the answer to your question is, if that happens, for our district, it's about 3% of our budget, so under $5 million. If all the funding was cut, which I honestly, my prediction would be we're not going to lose all of our funding. I don't see that, but there could be some adjustments. Depending on the size of the adjustments, if there are any, there might not be any. Your question is my question to the legislation, the governor, would be, are you going to leave us hanging or are you going to fund? So you already had the question. And just so you know, Om is also a reporter for the school newspaper, right? And knows his stuff, as you can tell.
Yes.
Go ahead, Om, if you have other ones.
Yeah, thank you.
Good, thank you.
Those are the two questions I really had.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Nice job. Thank you, hon. Anybody else in the audience? All right. Okay, good job. Let's move on. Our next order of business is the consent agenda item review by Mr. Pulowski. Does anybody have any question for you?
I
Going
have
to
to give the
review
review before they ask the question.
You know why? I'm thinking asking questions because they read it, right? They read
Yep.
it.
All right,
That's why
anybody
I
have any
said it.
questions?
They read it. Go.
We-
I read
All right,
it.
everybody, so here's our consent agenda review. We have approval of some transfers, business office operations, approving some financials, bills lists, and acceptance of funds for some non-public compensatory education. We're accepting a donation from Crossroads South PTO. We have a resolution awarding a contract authorizing purchase over bid limit. We're approving our audit report that was provided this evening. We're approving a transportation contract. You can see in 1.9 our tentative school district budget. The slide at the very end that we could not get to view, this is exactly what it is. It's the budget, the local tax levy, total local tax levy of $136,978,830, and a total budget of $173,457,336. So that's our budget that we're putting right now as a tentative. We have a second reading and adoption of some policies. We're approving out-of-district tuition adjustments. We have an extension of professional services for our special education programs, and we have harassment, intimidation, bullying reports. We have a list of student field trips. We have a resolution for travel and related expenses. We have a sidebar agreement with the SBEA, two of them it looks like. And then we have a final was added, 119, at the very last minute. We have a approval of our preschool education aid, the actual budget program that we have put together. That amount, that 8.2 million, is an amount that we're using for this year's preschool education aid. So that's a wonderful number. And again, the impacts of that program have been absolutely astronomical for the district. And that's your consent agenda.
Okay, now, does anybody have any questions for Mr. Pulowski on this? All right.
I just want to congratulate the district on both the cricket club and the flag football. I think that's phenomenal that we recognize multiple groups in our district, and I commend the district on doing that. Thank you.
Okay, may I have a motion? Raja, second. Mr. Mitchell. Roll call, Mr. Pulowski.
Raj and Mitchell. Let's go. Miss Alicia Khan.
Yes.
Mr. Raja Krishna.
Yes.
Mr. Mike Mitchell.
Yes.
Dr. Smita Raj.
Yes.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers.
Yes?
Mrs. Deepa Karthik.
Yes.
Ms. Laura Hernandez.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay. Yes, please.
So we had originally planned to go into executive session tonight to talk about student matters. However, I would like to suggest that we forego this and we move this to a 6:15, which affects the Education Committee meeting next meeting. However, we are asking for a guest to be here. He's unable to be here tonight. He would be at our meeting at 6:15 next meeting, which is March 27th. Ed Committee, I would ask that you try to make that meeting on a different night on Zoom, so we don't lose the month. And if that would be okay, David, I'm not sure what you need to do with agenda-wise, but if that's, I just got pointed of ordered.
You did. You need to make a motion.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. What do you
let's
need to
roll. Yeah, I got you. You ready?
Okay, go.
Let's make a motion. I can need a motion to amend an agenda that's already been approved. So I get a motion.
Ms. Rogers?
Second.
Mr. Mitchell?
Motion.
All in favor? Aye.
Any no?
Motion
Any
carries.
nays? Any nays? No nays.
Removing the
No nays.
executive session student matters.
Any abstentions? I'm covering everything.
Now you go to adjourn.
Okay, and now, please note that the next scheduled Board of Education meeting is set for Thursday, March 27th, 2025 at 7 o'clock, right here, be square. And
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Would you like to make a motion to adjourn?
No, just you have to.
Oh, motion to, I was going to, I was just picking.
You were going to hit that. I saw
I
you.
was
You were
not,
getting
I
lined
was
up.
preparing.
We are sorry for this behavior here. We apologize.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Move.
Ms. Khan, second.
Move.
Dr. Raj. Motion to adjourn, carry, all in favor? Aye. Good night, South Brunswick.
There are none.
Oh, any nays?
Getting out of here.
Any abstentions?
Too bad. If
Good
you
night,
nay,
South
stay.
Brunswick.
By yourself.